All right. Hello, my gorgeous party people. I am here with my lovely client, and we are going to be talking about our success story. Her success story, not ours, hers. Why I said ours. Let me know if you're watching the live or the replay. I'd love to understand. Alrighty, so we are going to dive right in. We're a little bit early, but we're locked, loaded, ready to go as always. So I'm going to have my girly, come on, and we are just going to get started on our success story. So I'm going to have her introduce herself, where she was, what she was exactly looking for, and what was the place she was in her life when she came in and hired me, basically. And we're just going to kind of go through her journey and her success. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. And, if I see any that I think that would be really good for all of us to dive into, I will select a few and I will ask her and we can go into it. But other than that, I'm going to kind of let her take it away. So my love, let's kind of just start out with where you were when you found me and what kind of really allowed you to take the plunge to hop in. So let's kind of start a baseline here for these lovely individuals.
Okay, so before I discovered Persis, I had really low self-esteem. I was feeling really down. I went through a lot of stress in my life in regards to money, business, even family. And then I started looking up manifestation, and I found Persis on TikTok and on YouTube, and I just started watching all her content. And at first I was very skeptical about the whole manifestation thing. But then the way Persis explained everything, like scientifically and logically, it started making sense to me, and I started believing in it more. So I was watching more and more content. And then I think it was around end of May, I decided to join your manifestation mastery group.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was watching all the content in there. I started with the blueprint and the manifestation equation formula.
Yes.
And I followed all the techniques, all the techniques, and trusted the process. And I found myself within 4 days. I think it was 3-4 days.
Mm-hmm.
I had an addiction. Prior to that, I had an addiction to watching tarot.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I was just looking for validation. So
yeah.
I found myself addicted to tarot, and I've been addicted to watching it for like 3 years. And then within 4 years, when I did within 4 days after doing the manifestation equation formula, and I found myself trusting the process, I completely stopped watching tarot readings. Like I just found myself turned off.
Yeah.
I don't know, then something just clicked, and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to watch it anymore. And then it's been like a few weeks now, and I haven't even watched a single video, and I'm not even tempted. So that was my first major win.
Yeah, I love that.
So that was really good. And then from there, I thought, wow, this stuff, this is really working. It motivated me even more. So I thought, I'm going to get one-on-one coaching with you. So personal coaching. I got the 4 calls with you.
Yeah.
The coaching calls. And then after the first call with you, I found, I felt a huge shift. I remember I would get off a call from you, and then instantly I just get clients texting me, calling me, booking in, clients that I haven't seen for a while, new clients, everything just started flooding in.
Yeah. We had really good, really powerful coaching calls. She was in my 4-call package, and she is a business owner, and she really came and she was wanting to grow her business, but not just grow her business, also grow like her confidence. You know what I mean? She was feeling a little bit, like she said, a little bit insecure, a little bit shy, just not feeling her full self. And so we had like a couple of things that we really wanted to work on, but with the main focus kind of being to increase her income. And I'm gonna let her continue to dive into it, but I know some people are like already curious, like, well, what is the success story? In case you haven't seen my story, the success story is she's now currently like nearly at 30K months in her business. And obviously we're going to continue to go even further above and beyond that as well. But not only that, she's like found a new sense of confidence. She's found a new sense of faith. She's found a new sense of so many different things. And so we're going to continue to dive into each and every success and kind of go through all of it. But it is a really like incredible, win for her, because this is all about really coming into mastering your energy, mastering your belief system, mastering your expectations. And she didn't do anything fancy. You know what I mean? She just literally did exactly what I told her that I was able to point out on our coaching call, to be able to dissolve the blockages that I could very clearly see she had. And with each and every single week that was going by, things were getting better. And these results, we did this in like a month. But this is like the big thing we did in the month. You know what I mean? Like even the other things, those were done like so much earlier. You know what I mean? I feel like you've been seeing results since the first week. Like you said, even the first 4 days.
Yeah. Since I started in the Manifestation Mastery group.
Yeah.
Because just watching all the content, all the videos you had and information.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm more logical minded.
Yeah.
So if nothing makes sense to me, I'm not going to believe it. And if I don't believe it, I'm not going to have faith in the process, and I'm not going to continue. But
that
the
makes
fact
sense.
that I found that like the proof.
Yeah.
And you were giving us proof, and it made sense logically. That's what sort of motivated me more. And then so when I say the affirmations and when I do the process, I trusted the process.
Yeah.
And that's what helped me a lot.
Yeah. So we got off phone calls, clients start texting you left, right, and center. So obviously you were seeing results pretty early on. Was there anything in particular that you feel like really, like how about this? What was the thing that you most enjoyed? Or, I mean, obviously you're still in it. You still enjoy that you feel like is incredible in the membership, versus what did the one-on-one coaching allow you to have like that cherry on top?
So with the group, I love the content that's in the group. Like the amount of content that you have for us in the group is amazing. Yeah. So I feel like the group is like an extra sort of motivation for me. So whenever I have an intrusive thought, or whenever I'm not sure about anything, or if somebody has the same problem as me, I'll be able to log in and just sort of problem solve on my own.
Yes.
But with you, with the one-on-one coaching, that helped a lot, because you were able to sort of like dissect my brain and know exactly where my limiting beliefs were.
Yeah.
And then you were able to just write down some affirmations for me.
Yeah.
And just having the formula. So you would write down exactly everything I needed to do, and then all I had to do was just follow that. And that just made it so much easier for me. So I had that trust that, okay, Persis has wrote down this formula for me, specifically for me. All I have to do is trust the process and do it.
Yeah. And that's really the beauty of one-to-one, is it's like you're smart, you're educated, like you know the things. But when it comes to me, I think like the thing that I pride myself on the most is I just have a really good knack for figuring out like why you don't have what you want right now, and the exact things that are stopping what you want from happening right now, and then creating structure, creating logic, creating like something tangible that you can ground into to do on a day-to-day basis so that you can try to, like, I don't mean control in a negative context, but like control your outcome in the sense of, I believe that success, it leaves footprints, you know what I mean? It leaves like a trail. And I think that just like with anything in a science experiment, like I think that something like success is measurable. And so if something like success is measurable, we need to see what are the traits, what are the qualities, what are the characteristics, like what is the structure that we can do to expedite the process. If the main goal of manifestation is, and I'm going to say this in several different manners, but I'm really just saying the same thing 20 different ways. If manifestation in a nutshell is shift your expectations and get what you want, or shift your beliefs and get what you want, or shift your emotions and get what you want. There's a lot of different ways to say the same thing. If that's what manifestation is in a nutshell, well, it's like, okay, my goal in my coaching business was like, how can we form beliefs the fastest? How can we shift our expectations the fastest? How can we heal our subconscious the fastest? Like, what's the actual stepwise processes of being able to form a new expectation, form a new belief, ground into a new emotion? Like, how can we start to create these new neural pathways in the brain in an expedited manner? And think of it this way. I want you guys to think of it like, as soon as you form the belief, the manifestation is instant. It is literally instant. It is instant. And I want to give you an example of this on a very small tangent in like weight loss. So for those of you who may know or not know, I'm going to give you a little personal story here for like 10 seconds. I used to be about 100 pounds overweight. Okay, about 100 pounds more than my physical body. And I lost 100 pounds over the course of like a year and a half, 2 years, back way before I knew anything about manifestation. Like, this was a long time ago. I was just overweight in general, like from the time I was a kid. And so I lost about 100 pounds. And in that process, I remember even at that point in time, it was literally just a decision. Like, one day I stepped on the scale and it was past a certain number. And that was the day that I just decided. I decided I was not going to feel like this anymore. I decided that, you know what, I'm going to make a difference. I decided I'm going to make a change. I decided I'm going to get healthy. I decided I'm going to take this seriously. And so remembering that shifting your belief is something that can happen in an instant. It's just a decision. Whatever and however things happened 7 years ago does not have to be how it happens today. I wrote a really elegant like little one-liner even in my Facebook group. And I was like, the only thing that's keeping your, I guess you can say, like past in your present is the fact that you keep taking it from the past and bringing it into the present. Like, the past is dead. The only thing that matters is the present moment and what you decide. And I need you guys to remember that every time you think maybe you can't because, like, insert past situation here, that is actually the only thing that's keeping these repetitive patterns alive, is you bringing them into the present moment. They're not coming here. You're inviting them. You're putting them in your backpack and you're bringing them here. And so remember that in this process, that everything is a conscious choice. Right here, right now, you can make a decision that you're done. You can make a decision to go all in on yourself. You can make a decision that today's the day that I'm going to start that. Today's the day that, I'm sick and tired of it. You've got to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. Until then, nothing changes. Would you agree, my love? Tell me what your thoughts are.
100%. 100%.
Because it's all about just going all in on you. You're the only one that's going to benefit from your investment in yourself. You know what I mean? But it's like sometimes we're not always ready. And I can relate to that, because think about every extra pound I put on before that big one, right? I could have made decisions to not let it get that far, but the truth of the matter is I wasn't really ready. And even if I would have tried to force myself to become ready, I probably would have still had to reach that mountaintop in order to really get my stuff together. So never shame yourself when it comes to, your own grace that you need to give yourself in this process. But at the same time, I believe that there is a balance of asking myself, okay, you know what? What are my goals? How am I doing on them? When am I going to buckle down and get really serious about it? Because we owe it to ourselves to be able to experience the most whole and fulfilled life possible. People that come to me, they have self-confidence issues. They have maybe worthiness issues. They have maybe men issues, women issues, you know what I mean? Financial issues. And it's not until they reach that precipice of where they are now is more painful than the pain they know or the discomfort they know they will experience in coaching. And that's the thing, you know what I mean? Until you're ready to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, it's not going to work. And it's not going to happen, because you're only going to go up and until a certain level of discomfort and say, okay, that's my threshold. I can't do anymore. And it's like, no, you got to be willing. You got to be willing to get uncomfortable. You got to be willing to face things. You got to be willing to challenge these old programs. And that is something that only the strong survive in. And so I want you to kind of elaborate, my love. So we obviously started to see results, like obviously very quick out the gate, but let's kind of like continue to dive into all the results that you've really been able to benefit from in this process, and maybe even anything you've learned along the way that helped you get there.
So I've had a lot of, I'm still continuing to have a lot of aha moments. Like things are just starting to click, making sense.
Yep.
And it's strengthened my belief in the whole manifestation law of assumption.
Uh-huh.
So everything's starting to make sense, and I'm finding validation in the 3D. Like things are starting to shift, and the more they start to shift, the more I sort of get encouraged and inspired and motivated, and the more I push myself, the more I'm like dedicated to doing better. So that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Plus being in your group, hearing other people's success stories, that also helps a lot. It just keeps you motivated and inspired.
I love it.
My mood started changing, a huge shift in my mood. I started waking up more bubbly, more happy, more positive. My husband has been noticing. Everyone around me has been noticing. It's like I'm in a constant high, but in the best way.
Yeah.
I feel like I found myself again.
I love that.
Because I've been working hard on my self-concept. So before I met you, my self-concept was at a 5.
Okay.
And now I can confidently say it's at a 9.
I love that.
So I'm really, really happy about that.
Yeah.
So I just started loving on myself a lot more, doing the self-concept affirmations. The self-talk was huge for me. Loving on myself, complimenting myself in front of the mirror. And every time I'd have a call with you, I'd find myself excited, because I'm like, what more am I going to get after this call? Like, I just felt like I was getting more excited every week.
Yeah. I remember every week it's like we unlocked something new. And it
exactly. And you would just problem solve whatever limiting belief I still had. You just problem solve it for me, and then encourage me, and then I'd just keep doing the process with them.
She'd be off to the races. It was really fun to see. It'd be really fun to see, because she had a lot of time to be able to really dive into it. So she was one of those people that I really would probably categorize as like very much a go-getter, right? As soon as like I gave her exactly what she needed to do, she was like head down, working, doing the things. And that's why like somebody like her is able to see such wild success. I tell people, and I've been repeating myself a lot, all we're asking you to do is just everything that we're saying. We know what we're talking about when we see your blockages. We know how to fix the blockages, but the one thing we cannot do is we cannot be a little worm and go into your brain and do the work for you. The only thing we can do is give you that full, beautiful custom plan, stand by you, support you, answer your questions, like coach you through the process. But it's not just that we can't, no one can do it for you. No one can manifest for you. No one can reprogram your brain for you. This work is deep, but it's going to work better than anything you've ever had your entire life, you know? And that's the beauty of it, is she has created a fundamental shift in her brain. Like, if I was to ask you to go and think the way you previously did, you wouldn't even really relate to that type of thinking anymore. Am I correct?
Oh, so correct. Now when I look back at how the things I used to react to and the scenarios I was in and the way I used to think, I get like turned off. I'm like, oh my God, like it's almost embarrassing. Like, how did I used to think like that? How did I allow myself to react that way? So now, if I was to put myself in that same situation I was a few weeks ago, I'd be like react completely different. Like,
yeah.
Nowhere near how I used to react and behave. And yeah, it's just, I've had like a complete like inner work, like a deep dive into myself and just finding myself again and loving on myself again. I think it's the self-concept work really, really is what shifted everything for me.
Yeah, the self-concept, we went deep into this situation. Now,
That's exactly what I needed.
Yeah, and I'm curious because you were one of the people that got 2 plans. It, like, we tell people on the website, like, you know what I mean? Like, you will get a custom plan. A lot of the times I will say that we don't publicize it, but a lot of times people end up getting 2 plans because in order to manifest things, it's actually a 2-step process. But the caveat to that is, 1, not everybody fully makes it through what we call phase 1. So then we can't really give them phase 2 because they haven't even made it through phase 1. And then the second thing is, not everybody needs phase 2. So sometimes you have issues that your only problem is self-concept. So you don't actually even need the second plan. You don't actually even need phase 2 because the entirety of your problems get solved with phase 1, which is self-concept. Sometimes once you complete the self-concept and you're at that 9 or a 10 and things aren't fully resolved, that's when we do a reevaluation into phase 2 in order to solve the whole scenario. Sometimes people need it, sometimes people don't, but I know that you had an additional goal also of just wanting to like increase your magnetism. And I did up a whole second plan, and I'm so curious because I actually don't even know this. Like, how was that plan? Like, how have you seen that kind of like play out and stuff like that? Like, I'm curious to kind of understand because your self-concept really took deep root within you, and that magnetism plan was like pretty, like, I don't know, like I felt like those affirmations were pretty potent. And so I'm curious about almost like your review of the plan, and have you been able to see any results from it so far?
So that plan was dangerously good. I've been getting a lot. I've been getting, like, my husband's jealous now.
I love it.
I've been getting so much attention from like just random people, men. When I walk into cafes, like I've got this one affirmation that you gave me. Like I say, I'm a star in every room I enter.
Yeah.
Or in every room I'm in, and literally that's what happens. Like whenever I enter a cafe or a business or anything, I get treated like royalty. Like people go out of their way just to serve me, and I get greeted with smiles, with warmth, with kindness. A lot of eyes on me. Like I feel like a celebrity now whenever I walk into any room. Really good. And also because I've been loving on myself so much as well with the self-concept affirmations and work, I've lost a total of 5 kilos now.
Yay! I love that.
In 5-6 weeks, 5 kilos. My skin, I haven't had a breakout. I don't even remember the last time I've had a breakout. My skin is just glowing and I just feel so good. And now automatically I find myself looking at the best parts of my features. Like I'd compliment my eyes, or I'd compliment my hair's getting thicker. I find myself, I don't look to my flaws anymore. Whereas before I used to look at my flaws and say, oh, but this, that, or but this, my stomach is a little loose here. Or now I look to the positive. So my whole mindset has changed. I find I compliment myself even more. And even my mum's been repeating my affirmations. She's been saying, you look so good, you've lost weight, what have you been doing? You look so happy, what are you doing? Like, everyone's just asking me, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you...
Just send them all to me. I'll just pump through them one by one.
Something? Yeah, exactly. And when they say that, it sort of encourages me even more. And I'm like, oh my God, this really works. So it makes me want to do the work even more.
Yeah, I mean, when you finally get to see that movement, I mean, obviously you see movement in like 4 days, like it does motivate you. You know what I mean? It does motivate you to continue to buckle down because it's something that's like very rewarding. For other people, I think it can sometimes be triggering when you're at it for a long period of time and it's like you're literally lights out like movement. Now, I know you said that like manifestation is something that you started to see fairly, I guess you could say, like recently, but was there ever a period of time where you tried to apply things independently and you were in maybe let me just ask that before I ask follow-up questions, but like, were you ever in a time and space where you were applying manifestation techniques in any way, shape, or form, or did you just immediately hop in with me?
I was. So before I met you, I was trying to manifest with other people, popular ones on YouTube. I'm not going to say the name.
Not going to out
myself trying to do what they told me to do, and nothing worked. If anything, the opposite used to happen. And I used to get frustrated and like encouraged, and I'll be like, this is not working. This is all like a scam.
Yeah.
It's not working. I used to think that I had to be delusional to make it work for me, and I just can't. I can't be delusional.
Yeah, I can think of several big YouTubers where that's their whole shtick. Or,
Yeah, and when you ask them questions, they make you feel bad about it. Like,
yeah,
you're just not being delusional enough, or you're not... but I had no, like, explanation, and it just made me just want to give up. Like, I wasn't encouraged. I'm like, this is all a scam. This is all woo-woo, and, it wasn't for me.
Oh, my goodness.
But then I heard the way you started talking about manifestation, and because I listened to Dr. Joe Dispenza as well.
Yes, my husband.
Yeah, very, very similar to him. So it just started clicking and making sense. And I'm into science, and I'm into more like logical, realistic sort of thing. So yeah,
I love that. And didn't you also, like, you started to see like movement even in other areas of your life where maybe some people weren't always like, I don't want to say the words how do I say what I'm trying to say? I'm referring to specifically the ring. You know what I mean? Where it's like other different synchronicities started to happen even in small areas where, you've been hinting at things, maybe things weren't going the way you wanted to, and even small things started to come together which had really meaningful impacts.
Yeah, so before I started my one-on-one personal coaching with you, I went through a lot of stress. Like I was in a bad time of my life.
Yes.
And I was fighting with family a lot. I love and adore my family, but we just went through a really tough phase, and I had a lot of built-up resentment. So when I did the your equation formula,
yes.
I noticed that I had a lot of resentment towards my parents.
Yeah.
From my childhood and everything, and just the way they sort of, so just a lot of resentment.
Yeah.
And then because I've been working on myself and loving on myself more, I feel like the self-love I have for myself now, I feel like I just want to pour out the love to others.
Yeah.
So I feel like because I love myself now and I have more empathy towards myself, and understanding, it's causing me to it's completely shifted my mindset. So now when I think about my mom or when I think about my dad, I have more empathy towards them and more love.
Yeah.
So the resentment is gone, and I understand why they were like that. And it wasn't my fault. It was more a them problem.
Yeah. Everybody has their own traumas, you know what I mean? Everybody has
Exactly,
their own
yeah.
upbringings that they deal with.
Yeah, understanding that a lot more.
Yeah.
And then I started changing the way I communicate with my family and the way I think, like the way I thought about things. And so I think it was a week ago, I had a coffee date with my parents.
I love it.
And I had a really good conversation with my dad. And then from the moment my mum saw me, she was complimenting me. She kissed and hugged me. Like, I really felt her warmth. I felt like she really did miss me because I haven't seen them for like over a month.
Yeah.
And then we had a really, really good time and everything went well. And then just before I was about to leave, she told me, wait a second. She went into her room and she pulled out a ring.
Mm-hmm.
And she put it on my finger. And I'm like, oh, wow, like, it's your ring. And she's like, it's yours now. And I was like, I had like an out-of-body experience. It was so weird. I was like, what? Like, am I dreaming? Is this because that ring purses, I've had an eye on that ring for so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful antique gold ring.
Yeah.
And it's one of them ones that's really hard to find.
Yeah.
So she gifted it for me. And she says, I want you to have it. I want you to wear it.
That's
I know
so
that you
nice.
like it, and I want you to have it. It's a gift. And I was like, oh my God, Mum, you sure? Like, she's like, it's yours. And that was like, and I remember when I was driving back home, I was like, oh my God, I had to pull over. I was like, did this actually happen?
I
like,
know.
How did we go from resentment and like, you know what I mean? Like
not really loving
rocky
each
road
other,
to now really loving each other, and I just love them more, and I want to help them now.
Yeah.
Like, I want to, it's amazing. It feels so good. It's a bit hard to explain, but until you actually experience it.
Reuniting families over here, because this is not the relationship you've had with them your whole life. You felt very criticized, very hurt, very like almost as if they were like talking down to you, you know what I mean, making you feel lesser than, criticizing you, undervalued, underappreciated, all the things. And so this makes my heart so happy because I have such a great relationship with my parents. And you know what I mean? Like, I think that everybody really needs that. And one of the lines that my dad said that has always stuck with me, he makes a joke in some manner about like not having like there's no guide for dummies. And I like to think of like even our parents didn't have like a parenting guide for dummies. You know what I mean? They have their own things that have gone on with them, with their parents and stuff like that. And so it's always good to have empathy and to have a different sense of understanding because, it's our parents' first time being parents. And I like to think that everybody's just doing the absolute best that they can do, regardless of how the child interpreted it at that time. Sometimes we interpret things differently, but I like to think to myself, like if I had gotten dealt the hand that my parents got dealt, I don't know that I actually would have been as good as they were during that period of time. You know what I mean? And so it's like sometimes we just see things through the child's lens of this is not fair, this is not this is not that. But if I had gotten dealt that certain hand, I don't think I would have been able to handle it. You know what I mean? And so sometimes that little bit of understanding definitely goes a long way. I do have a commenter here that has a question. I actually would love your input on it though. There's a girly in our chat. She says, I feel like I've manifested many things that I've wanted, but when it comes to my dream job, it has been unbelievably hard. Are there any tips or insights or things that you want to maybe bestow on her? Any wisdom in the time that we've learned together that you would like to, you know what I mean? Like inform her of?
I think you'd be better answering that question.
Okay. I'll answer.
I sort of feel like I don't say anything is hard for me anymore. So as soon as I acknowledge that something is hard for me or something is difficult for me, I know I'm going the opposite way of my goal.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, nothing is hard for me.
Yeah.
Of course I have my dream job. Like, I just try and focus on the positive. I purposely sort of delete any words like hard, impossible, I can't do this, it's too hard, I can't manifest this. I sort of like, I've removed
Those are
all them
removed
sort
from
of
your vocabulary.
negative. Exactly. I don't even speak it. I don't even listen to anything that insinuates that. So I feel like a strong mental diet makes such a big difference as well.
And I mean, I
don't acknowledge the hard.
Yeah. I even think that's a wonderful place to start. You know what I mean? Because the more that you're identifying with the hard, that's a beautiful thing.
And acknowledging it.
Yeah, and acknowledging it. It's one to like convey it, to give context, but there is definitely like an identity of, you know, I can do anything and everything, but it's just like this one area is incredibly hard. Like, just even for basic context, the only reason something is hard is because we are holding in our energy, our vibration, our belief systems, our expectations, however you want to put it, whatever word you want to say, belief systems that are limiting, that are contrary. So just think of it this way, just even in a layman's term. Let's pretend you only had one limiting belief and the rest of them were perfect. And the one limiting belief is literally what you just said. I can manifest anything, but just not my dream job. My dream job is unbelievably hard. What will happen is that you will be continued to maybe be turned down, continued to maybe be looked over, continued to have other people hired with lesser qualifications than you for maybe the same pay, or who knows, maybe even more pay. And you'll say and you'll reaffirm, I can manifest anything except my dream job. It is unbelievably hard. And so this story, this narrative, could be, if you can see it from our lens, our point of view, even if everything else was perfect, can you see how even just this one belief alone can completely and totally block you from what you want when it comes to furthering and excelling your career? You know, like how we identify with things, how we describe things, how we are showing up in the world, and the beliefs we hold. That is the whole, the whole puzzle. You know, so the only reason that you don't have something or something's hard is because you're trying to have a limitation and have the thing too. And in order to have the thing, you have to give up the limitation to have the thing. You can't have the thing and have the limitation. People who find anything to be hard are just in a state where they're trying to have their limitation and have their desire too. And one has to go for the other to come in. Manifestation is incredibly easy when you get rid of your limiting beliefs because it happens instantly. But not everybody is ready, willing, able, capable, or even fully educated or understand how to dissolve these limiting beliefs. And so due to these reasons, they're not able to get to where they want to go. And that's what makes it incredibly hard. But let's go into maybe even like some of your business wins. I know you said clients are messaging you left, right, and center, but I would love to even go and dive even a little bit more and really understand the breakdown, you know what I mean, of, you know, how did this end up happening? You know, how are clients reaching out to you? Because you're also not making nearly 30K months by working hard. You know what I mean? You're actually working very minimal hours and things of that nature. So I'd love to kind of hear the breakdown of how the clients are kind of pushing out now, you know, how they're coming into your world.
Yeah, so my clients, some of them are my regular clients.
I love it.
But they would come like once a month. Now they're coming once every week, every 2 weeks. Old clients have been showing up. Clients from other salons, which is one of my affirmations. Clients will leave other salons to come to me. So that's been happening. New clients and more clients obviously means more money. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's just, I would sit down, because I am a little bit lazy. I don't like to overwork myself. I'm a bit of a princess like that.
Yeah.
But I'll be sitting down enjoying my day off, and then I just get random texts. My phone will all of a sudden go off from clients wanting this done, wanting that done, wanting to book this in, wanting to book that in. And it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just all of a sudden, it's like people have discovered me. Like, you know what I mean? Or they've just, they're appreciating my work more.
Yeah.
And they even say to me, like, you're the best. You always make me feel so amazing. And I've been getting a lot of tips as well.
I love it. I love it. And all of these things are individual things that
It's just been flowing continuously, like just flowing.
Yeah, it has been flowing, and it really hasn't stopped. You know what I mean? Like, she's been in a scenario where, you know, she came to me on this first call and she's like, I want to have more tips. I want people to, you know what I mean? I'm not fully confident in, you know, like how I am in my services and stuff like that. But the truth of the matter is, she really is like the best. She really is the greatest at what she does. It's just that she has not had full confidence and self-concept in her business self-concept, but also the self-concept as a whole. And the more and more that she started to challenge herself and challenge her narratives. Now, I want you to speak on this next. Like, can you speak at all on how in the beginning, did it ever feel maybe like not so resonant, maybe fake, maybe superficial? And what was your strategy during that time, you know, to be able to kind of like buckle down? Because, you know, when I gave you these affirmations and things of that nature, some people will tell me, you know, it doesn't really feel like fully real. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, even if it feels fake, even if it feels superficial, even if it feels weird or off, remember that you're building new neural pathways. So expect it to feel that way for some time, but do it anyway. You need to start to build a new neural pathway somewhere. You know what I mean? You're going to need to start somewhere. It's like a baby when they're walking. Do you think when they fall on their butt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times, they're like, you know what, this walking thing, it's not for me? You know, it's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel weird. You're going to try to find your footing, but you'll find your rhythm eventually. Too many people, because it feels weird, off, maybe forced or fake or superficial, they don't even allow themselves to believe good things about themselves. You know, and so I would really love your take on it, because you've gone through both things. You know, you said even the magnetism plan was dangerously potent. I want to know, like, what's that process when I send it over? Like, is there any fear? Is there any worry? Like, talk me through that.
Well, at first I did have doubts because the affirmations were so dangerously good. I thought, is this too good to be true? Like, is this actually going to work out for me?
Yeah.
But as soon as I let go of that, and I thought, of course it's going to work for me. And I feel like because I had the belief and the trust, and I trusted you and I trusted the process, so I just allowed myself to trust.
Yeah. I love it.
That made a huge difference. And at first I would spiral. So my 3D would show me things the opposite of what I was affirming.
Mm-hmm.
And then I must admit, I did spiral. Like, I'd spiral for a good an hour, 2 hours, and just like negative thought, like thinking.
Yeah.
And then I did the brain correction exercise.
Yeah, I remember that in the plan. Yeah.
So yeah, I did that. That helped so much. And also I've been doing a lot of EFT tapping just to regulate my nervous system.
I love it.
And then the more I would do that, and the more I would understand that this is just my 3D trying to sort of contradict me.
Yeah.
And show me the opposite. Like the 3D, your mind does that on purpose to sort of like
play with you. And it's not even playing with you. It's more like confirmation bias. It's just trying to stay safe. You know what I mean?
And
I don't even want to stay
understood
playing.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I understood that.
Yeah.
I thought, no, this is not who I am. This is not my reality. So I just started living in my own head. So I just shut off the 3D, and I just started trusting the process. And the more and more I started fighting that and just doing the brain correction exercises, the self-talk, the EFT tapping, it just started getting easier and easier for me. And then I started spiraling less and less. I feel like eventually my mind just sort of gave up and thought, okay, I'm just going to let her have it. So persistent. My brain just gave up.
2 seconds. I love it. I love it so much. And yeah, I mean, and now we're going to be doing 40K months, 50K months. I mean, if you want, we can even do 100K month. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, that'll be amazing.
yeah,
That'll be. Already. I went from 14K a month to 26K a month now in 4 weeks.
in literally just 4 weeks. So imagine you paid me 1K ish, like in change, I'm gonna say, and you got 10K out of it at least. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, if not even more.
Yeah,
Even more.
And not even to mention the things that you can't even really put an ROI on, which is like your confidence, your relationship with your family, you know, the resentment, the pain, the hurt, the insecurity, the magnetism, you know what I mean? Like you have really come out of this like a bandit in the best way possible. Because I'm curious, you know, what is the favorite part that you have had in this process? Like, what's your favorite manifestation out of all of the ones that you got in literally just 4 weeks? Like, we're literally just getting started.
I must say, I really enjoy the self-talk.
I love
Like,
it.
I would self-talk all day, every day. I just enjoy it. Like having conversations with myself and just wins and counting my blessings, and just self-talk has helped so much.
Yeah.
And because I enjoy it so much, I find myself like it's not even hard for me to do. I actually look forward to it. Also embodiment. So I've changed my daily habits purposely just to help me sort of transition. Like now I wake up 5 a.m. in the morning and I go for runs.
Yeah.
And because I've been doing that for like 3 weeks now, I'm finding the physical difference, and that just motivates me more. Now, instead of having coffee by myself at home, I would go take my laptop, go to a cafe, sit by myself and have the coffee there.
Yeah.
Like just small habits. I change like my daily routines and, just the embodiment, and even the way I handle situations, the way I carry myself, the way I speak. I've been learning a lot more. I've been, I've already gone through 2 books. I never used to read. Now I find myself like I read. I'm a bookworm now.
Oh my gosh, I can give you so many books.
I've got all Dr. Joe Dispenza's books, and I just read like just knowledge, information. I feel like that makes a huge difference, and just understanding everything.
Yeah.
Like you have to understand, you have to trust, and you have to believe.
You have to understand.
If you don't trust and believe, you're not going to,
And you got, you
really
got to trust and believe. If you don't trust and believe, nothing is going to be possible. That's absolutely correct. I love this.
And also being in your group, I feel like I'm just like a student in a classroom. Like I feel like I've got a PhD in manifestation.
Girl, I think I told you this. I literally created a course called Manifestation University. And the creative design, like it was literally a manifestation like expose. It was like my life's work. And I even made like an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, and a master's degree like in the creative structure of it, where associate's degree was all about like the fundamentals of manifestation, learning the universal principles and laws, how to master them, how to integrate them, what they mean, what, opposite results mean, how to get out of opposite results, how to permanently maintain your results and passively keep them. And it's like, it was just a program that like built off of itself. But I love when you say, I feel like I have a PhD in manifestation, because this is really the community you come to when you really want to learn the true art form of it, because it is an art form. It is something to be mastered. We did not go to school and learn this. We have to a lot of times learn this later on in our lives, but it's the best investment that we can literally make in ourselves, because it's literally the answer key to get you anything and everything that you've ever wanted. So this, if anything, is the most important investment I dare say that you're ever going to make, because this is the one investment that actually makes a solid, tangible, guaranteed, basically, difference in your life. And I say guaranteed in the way that your reality is going to change to the degree that you do the work. But when you do the work and change these beliefs, the result is a guarantee. The only time a result wouldn't be happening is if beliefs and expectations and thoughts haven't actually changed at a core level. At a core level, it's easy to do superficial stuff. Superficial stuff, though, doesn't get you results. It is the core, deep, fundamental work. Like she said, she's been following a lot of creators. Some of them are just teaching and preaching delusional. To each their own. Everybody has their own secret sauce to be able to get to what allows them to feel good and better and what works for them. But for other people, they need, different things. They need different understandings, different thought processes. And I think the one thing that I really love about what we've put together over here is there isn't a single question that you could ask me that I don't have an immediate 1 hour reply to. It's like we are very, very thoroughly educated in this topic. We love it. We're passionate about it. We want people's lives to improve for the better. And it just makes all the difference in the world because we are just as invested as you are in this situation. I want to see you succeed. You came to me, you're like, I want to do 10K weeks. I'm like, okay, after that, let's do a 50K month. Let's do a 100K month. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always going to be that champion in your corner to make sure that you believe in yourself, to make sure that when you have a doubt, a spiral, a worry, a concern, even on other calls, like she's telling me, like her other calls are just basically all success stories. But then I would find the few other blockages that she was still having and we double down on it. And we double down on it. And I don't know, I just really love the membership. I really love one-on-one coaching. It just gives us an opportunity to really dive deep and to challenge these belief systems so that we can really create a fundamental core shift. And once the core shifts, like you said, there isn't any going back, because you're never going to go back to something that makes you feel like crap. You're never going to go back to something that makes you feel like dirt. You know what I mean? It's just not possible.
Yeah. That's right.
All right, my love. Well, is there any maybe last minute tip that you'd like to add to our lovely individuals before I let you go?
All I want to say is you have to believe and trust the process and fall in love with the process. Don't focus on the goal or the desire so much. Focus on the process and just trust and believe. Yeah. So once you do your inner work and just trust in the process, everything else flows. Your desire will start showing up, your goals, everything. Like, I feel like too many people focus on the end goal rather than on the process.
Yep.
And that's what sort of gets them to be anxious and, oh, this is not working, because that's what causes them to constantly look for validation. Like, is it here yet? Is it here yet? So absolutely. I stopped doing that. Once I stopped doing that and just started focusing on the process and how good the process was making me feel, that's when everything just started flowing. That's when all my manifestations started showing up in my 3D.
I literally have goosebumps because I say that all the time. I'm like, become obsessed with the process, not with the outcome.
Exactly. And obsessed with yourself. Like, you're the SP. Like, I am the SP.
Yeah.
I don't need anyone to validate me. I know I am loved. I know I am worthy. I know I am worth it. And then because I feel like that, I have the inner work. I've done the inner work. People are going to reflect that to me naturally.
Yeah, absolutely. 110%, 210%. I absolutely
inner
love it.
work is everything. Self-concept.
Inner work is literally everything. That's the thing that causes these incredible results. And I even want to say, like, when it comes to this, like, become obsessed with the process, because then the results chase you. You don't have to chase any results. You don't have to worry about any results. Now the results come and they chase you. They're after you. They're on top of you. And think of that power dynamic and that power shift. You want to be in a scenario where your desires chase you, not you chasing your desires. The person who's doing the chasing is usually always the anxious one, usually always the uncomfortable one, usually always the person that's not in the power seat. You want to be in the power seat. Hi, Sarah, my lovely girlie is also in the chat. And so you want to be the person that calls all the shots. You want to be the person that feels calm, cool, collected, confident. You want to be the person that feels good about themselves. What good is your desire if you still feel like crap when you get it? This is big girl conversation. This is big boy conversation. These might not be the shiny, pretty little things that a lot of people want to hear when they're so obsessed with what they want, but obsession and getting something and still being painfully insecure, still not feeling good, still having like chest pains whenever somebody leaves the house or isn't replying, this is not a prize, this is a punishment. This is literally a punishment. And so until you can start to prioritize and put you first, do not expect anyone else to put you first. Don't expect money to put you first. Don't expect men or women to put you first. Don't expect anyone to do so, because everybody is just merely reflecting the limiting beliefs that you are having within you. When you shift them, everything has to shift, because it is universal law. There is no person on the history of the planet that shifted their beliefs and didn't get their desire. And I'll tell you why. Because it would literally be an exemption to the law of physics. Your desire is a guarantee. It is not like this, like, oh, maybe it'll happen, maybe not. It happens 100% every time as soon as you shift that belief. And as soon as even the scales of that belief start shifting, that's where you get your movement. And that's when you double down on that process. But I love this conversation so much. I wish we could talk forever. I'm guessing, it's good to say that you would definitely recommend the membership, the coaching to other people. Let me know, what are your thoughts on your overall experience and whether you'd recommend it.
Definitely highly recommend, especially the group, the Manifestation Mastery group. Like, what are you waiting for? Seriously, I love that group.
The group is such a vibe.
The personal coaching with you combined with the group is just took it to another level for me. Because like I said, I'd get off the calls with you, but then if I was to spiral or have some negative beliefs, I would just log on to the group, and then somebody would have the same problem that I'm going through.
Yeah.
And I'll just read through that, and then reading your answers and problem solving, and or going back to the content that you have in there.
Yeah.
And just reassuring myself and having that sort of like treasure box.
Yeah.
At my disposal.
It
makes such a big difference.
Such a big
difference. And
difference.
then, like I said, hearing other people's success stories just motivates and inspires me even more.
Oh, yeah. So absolutely. 110%.
Definitely. Like, what are you waiting for? I wish I started years ago. I wish I found you years ago, but yeah.
Well, it's all perfect timing. I love it. Thank you so much, my love. I hope we get to do another success story in the future when we manifest another dozen things. But I will let you go in the for right now, and we will chat soon, my love.
Thank you, Persis.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye. I actually think she's morning, and I told her evening because we're in evening.
She is morning, yeah.
But I think one of our girlies had a question. If you guys have any other questions about the membership or one-on-one coaching, I'm going to give just a couple minutes before letting you guys go. Is it okay to block someone you're trying to manifest if you're putting down a boundary? Yes, I encourage you to. Are there any questions we have? So the services that she had gotten is the $100 monthly membership, Manifestation Mastery. It's in the link in my bio. And she had 4-call package with me, one-on-one coaching. And with these two together combined, she was literally able to manifest $26,000 months. $26,000 months. And it's just the beginning. It's just the first 1 month. Imagine in 1 month coming out with $26,000. $26,000. Not to mention, like I said, all the other intangibles you can't even really put a price on that are literally priceless. You know, healing her relationship with her family, healing her own self-confidence issues, you know, thriving in her business, positively impacting other people. You know, every aspect of her life is just flowing in a different way. I'm so happy for you, Sophia. Sophia says her 3D's been in chaos mode, but I've not spiraled, and I feel amazing. But it has been a while. How do I go about this? Really, it's all about identifying your belief systems, having a really great plan that is shifting you, making sure you have a support system. Sometimes, you know, what we're doing is exactly correct to get us everything we want. Sometimes we see a lot of people not doing things correctly, and that could sometimes be preventing you from getting what you want to. If you have a knack for identifying your limitations, if you have a lack of being, a knack of, oh my goodness, what's happening? Sorry guys, the live is acting a little bit funny. Oh my goodness. Sorry guys, it's doing one of those things where it wants me to, like, I don't know what it's expecting me to do. It's asking me to verify that I'm still live because we have detected inactivity during your current live, because there's not enough likes or comments or whatever it is. And it wants me to, like, complete an image verification, that of what I can't complete because the image is not loading. And despite submitting them information that the image is not loading, it's just continuing to give me the same lack of loaded image. I really hope this doesn't really impact our ability to access this file afterwards, because I may just have to shut the live down completely. If you guys want to try to flood the comments with some emojis or random words, comments down below, likes, I can't seem to complete the verification. I don't want this live to not be saved. I'm afraid it might not be saved if I can't complete the verification, but the image is also not loading. It says that we've detected inactivity because nobody is commenting or liking or whatever it is. This is why I know it may sound tedious to say, that I say please like, please comment, please share, please do something, because then stupid things like this happen. I can't do anything. I want to be able to save the live, but because I can't verify it, I may just have to shut the app down completely, like close the app, and pray for the best, because I'm not able to complete this stupid little verification because the image isn't showing up. I hope the live saves. This was one hell of a live. Like I said, guys, please do try to flood the comments. We'll see what happens. But it looks like there is a timer. It will end in the next minute and a half. So how about this? Why don't you ask me any question that you may have in the next minute and a half? Hopefully, if TikTok ends the live, it does mean that it will save, so I won't close it, but it does look like TikTok will close this live in about 90 seconds. So if you guys have any questions about her coaching, the membership, anything like that, now is the time, or forever hold your peace, because yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to be able to be, like, that I can get out of this block is what I'm saying. And we're all just going to cross our fingers and manifest that it saves, because I don't have the ability to choose whether it saves or not. That is something that TikTok does. What's the best coaching you have for SP manifestation? It's a great question. I recommend going to our website in the link in our bio. If the link tries to act funny, please know it is our website. It is safe to open the link. And just look at the two options. There's either call only or call and unlimited texting for people who need a lot of extra support. My advice for you, although it may sound unique, is choose the package that has the amount of support that you need. The only difference is either calls only or calls and texting. The texting is an added luxury to be able to reach out to the coach unlimited, to pay one flat premium fee and be able to reach out to the coach as much as you want throughout that period of time, which tends to actually save you money for all the questions you inevitably need and the support that you require on that journey. So it's about, do you need that?